20 minutes.
Hi, Victoria. Grammie found a great book in the store when she was shopping up in Maine, and it's about fairies. Do you remember when we made the fairy houses and we played with them at Grammie's house? This book asks the big question, where do fairies go when it snows? So I'm going to read it to you. Where do fairies go when it snows? Do fairies hibernate like bears, hedgehogs, and raccoons? Or are they like squirrels collecting food under the winter moon? Do they rely on the flowers and sunshine of spring to make the magic of their fairy world sing? This is a picture of springtime, isn't it? All the flowers and the fairies are flying with the flowers. But when the days get cold, dark, and dreary, do their spirits get low and do they feel weary? Oh, look, they look sad. There's no sunshine here. After a busy summer of parties and visiting fairy towns, do they rest their drowsy heads and put their fairy dust down? Do they curl under leafy blankets or beneath mushroom caps, placing fragile wings on moss for a long winter nap? Here she's sleeping under a mushroom, isn't she? On a little pile of soft green moss. Are they resting in your fairy house, hiding under snow? Its fairy door sealed tight against frosty winds that blow? Oh, that's a pretty fairy house, isn't it? Maybe we could make one like that. This is called Pinecone Cottage. Are they tucked in with magical dreams in their heads, nestled neath feathers and grass in a seashell bed? Oh, wow, look at these nice fairies. Do they make little jackets of downy milkweed and knit hats and mittens from feathery reeds? And in this winter finery, do they dance by firelight, gathering in the snow storm to warm up the freezing night? Grammie made a little mistake there. Should say, gathering in the storm to warm up the freezing night. They look like they're ready to have a nighttime party, don't they? There's snow. Do they help the birds and animals get settled, finding leftover berries, acorn caps, and dried nettles? Do you know what nettles are? I think they're little seeds. With all of this gathering, do they have a big feast where they imagine summer and its gentler heat? Look at them. It looks like they might be having a feast, doesn't it? With lanterns and food. And they're wearing sweaters. Do fairies hibernate? Oh, do you know? Have they whispered their secrets of where they go? It makes me wonder. See the owl in the top of the tree? And then there's the fairies down underneath in their little hideaway house. Perhaps, to be safe, in case they're hovering close, leave out a tiny pancake, some milk, or a crumble of toast. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we could feed them. Make a winter house for these fairies in need. Build a roof, 4 walls, and a sprinkle of seed. Gather some twigs, bark, and pine cones, for you never know if a fairy is shivering alone. For this is the same kindness that fairies show you. Helping each other is what we all should do. Now, do you see these kids? They're sliding on a hill, aren't they? Maybe someday Victoria will be able to come when it's snowing and go sliding on a hill with Grandpa and Grammie. I don't think you have much snow in California, do you? And when spring returns with its green and growing things, keep a sharp eye out to see what the fairies bring. And this is the end of the story about fairies. But here's a little paragraph about what you can do to take care of fairies in the winter. During the cold months, one way to warm a fairy's heart is to provide them with a winter snack. Leaving small bowls of milk and honey is one way to keep the fairies happy. Or you can make dried fruit and seed garlands to string on trees, similar to stringing garland for a Christmas tree. A fairy garland requires a needle and thread. Popcorn, cranberries, slices of oranges and apples, as well as walnuts can all be strung together for the fairies to snack on through the cold months. You can also take bread and use cookie cutters to cut out shapes. Slather these shapes with peanut butter or margarine. We don't use margarine. And dip into birdseed. These can be strung on the garland or on their own to attract a variety of the fairies' winged friends. Next time you come to Maine, we'll have to make sure that we make all kinds of preparations so the fairies will be happy even when it's cold.